Hey everybody, it's Travis here. We had some slight technical difficulties on our most recent Haunted Harvest episode about zombies. So, with that in mind, we had to bring out one from the bunker here at the Red Temple at Pumpkin Hill Radio. So please enjoy this Bigfoot episode. It is the year of Bigfoot after all, so this is going to be scary as hell anyway. Boom! Hello, my not old friends, and welcome to the 99th episode of Pumpkin Hill Radio.
99, baby.
Here on Pumpkin Hill Radio, we cover paranormal topics. Yeah.
Cover paranormal.
We cover paranormal. It's just full stop.
Yeah.
Today we're going to be covering our monthly Bigfoot episode. We are in the year of Bigfoot, so prepare for that later on in the episode. We got lots of great Bigfoot specific incidents to dig into. Not so much theories, but specific encounters that we have dug deep into and found all the leads we can.
Yeah.
I am Travis Wormwood. This is Dawson Trailer.
Yeah, baby.
We are Pumpkin Hill Radio. You are in a cult.
Yeah.
By listening. The Cult of the Star Mother. Welcome in.
Yeah.
You can join further layers by joining the Patreon. I'm not going to waste any time telling you about how you can get 50 plus bonus episodes
you're good at this, want it.
To the Patreon.
Just get it.
For only $5 a month, and you get a shout out on the pod.
Collect them all.
Not even going to mention that.
No.
I also will.
Y'all know.
I will mention that you can contact us anytime for any reason. pumpkinhillradio@gmail.com. And you can rate us right probably at the top of your whatever you're streaming this on. It really helps to do that. Rate and review wherever you can. But enough about that. Honestly, enough about that.
Yeah. You already know.
You already know.
You know how podcasts work. You know how any of this does. You know where to go, what to do. You're already here. You're already here.
Me and Dawson spent all morning looking at the Patterson footage, looking at that thing's dunker.
Yeah. Yeah, that's sweet shape.
Nobody told me it was hot.
Yeah. See, you see it all the time when you really start analyzing it. You're like, damn.
They have the new stabilized footage of it.
So she's hot.
And it's a thick Bigfoot.
They don't want you to know that. That's what we're actually all lusting
I'm sorry for our squeamish listeners. Okay?
Yeah.
We are not covering the Patterson footage today in full. That's going to be a future Bigfoot episode. Today we have, again, a couple different encounters. Before we dig into that, though, real quick, Doss, horror this week. I know we got a lot to talk about with these gorilla men and ape creatures, but
I mean, I mentioned to you a bit like off pod about the dreams I've been having. Mm-hmm. Going to the dream world right now, right off the top. That's usually like my horror this week. But like, man, I had this like weird dream that like there's like aliens invading, but they were like it was like signs kind of, where they were like kind of like they had like cloaking so they'd like be invisible, but like I was like trying to wrestle them. Like there's one in this like house I was in. This house I've never been in, but I've been in my dream before. It's like familiar that way, and there's
dream
like people.
House.
Yeah, there's people in the dream that I didn't recognize or know.
Sort of a Barbie dream house.
Yeah, Barbie dream house with aliens.
Sorry.
Alien.
You probably saw signs when you were younger on the same time that you were wrestling.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Signs also scared me.
Also, wrestling an alien. Bizarre way to end it.
I had to go for it. And the weirdest part, though, so like, it was invisible. And like this other person in this house, I don't know who these people are. But I recognize her. I like if I saw him, I'd be like, "Oh, that guy was the guy in my dream." Weird, super vivid, like lucid style dream.
Sort of a Barbie's dream boy.
Yeah, there's a bit of a Ken in my dream.
I don't know what this
some Kens and Barbies, but like, because I remember in my dream watching like TV, like news footage of like these like squares that were invisible, but like it was in the water and the waves were like crashing around it. I was like, "What the fuck?" And like. So we just started fighting back, and like this guy was like, "Oh, there's one up here," and like I went up, and he was like trying to wrestle it. I couldn't see it, but I saw like what he was grabbing at, so I went and like grabbed at it, and like I could feel it, and I'm like trying to wrestle this thing, but then it would like slip out, and I'd like try to get it again, but every time I'd get my arms around it, get my hands on it, I would get like really drowsy in my dream, like really sleepy, and like eventually I like after trying to like catch this thing and like corner it and like, try to like get it, like nail it down. I had it and I like fell asleep in my dream and then just woke up out of my dream. So I've been like kind of wrestling that because I'm like, am I
wondering if you're still in the
which one's real? You know what I mean? Which one's the dream?
Nice. I love a good dream realm inception.
Super weird. I had another weird dream too of I just had like I had like 8 babies, but they were like fit in the palm of my hand.
Well, that's the fertility pills that we're on.
The fertility pills are like in my head. There's like 8 babies and like they were like this big, and I was in like a public swimming pool, and like I was like diving down to like catch them because they were all in the water, and I like put like some on my shoulder because I couldn't hold them all, so I was like put them up on my shoulder. They kept like crawling off of me and shit. And I was like, God, fuck.
Listeners, email us what you think this means.
It was like a stress dream where I was trying to fucking wrangle all these babies, dude.
Anybody who can read dreams.
They were so tiny. They were like little puppies, but they were human babies. They look like me. It was weird. So, I don't know what that is. That's my horror this week. I don't know if I'm in a dream or not anymore.
Yeah, somewhere in the middle.
Like I don't know what's the dream or not. But
yeah, I guess. Yeah, my horror this week was just getting ready for this lead up to episode 100. You know, 99. We want to do kind of a nice, relaxed angle on this Bigfoot madness. Episode
99 is almost more exciting than
I know.
100 itself.
I'm shaking.
Yeah,
I'm shaking. Because we have a nice series coming up for episode 100. We're planning a big rollout for some stuff. So I hope everybody's ready for that. Not to say, definitely spend your time here.
Yeah, this is the one.
This is the one. I've also just been getting tons of synchronicities. I mean, nothing specific, but just every time I like roll over or come out of my house or anything, the synchronicities are real. It lets me know that I guess I'm on the right path, or it's something screaming at me to change. I don't know.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell what it is.
And then just like game design stuff. I know last week I was talking about how I'm starting to create a little game for the Red Temple and Pumpkin Hill Radio on like a Game Boy thing, and that's going well. There's like obviously like so many intricacies to this. Oh geez, like just there's a lot of functions that I need to learn to like actually program it, but it is fun to learn. That's basically where I've been at with it. Do you want to get into it?
Yeah, let's just get to it.
Let's just get into it. The people want what they want.
Time.
And
it's
they
Bigfoot
want
time,
guys.
guys.
Do you want to start us off, Dawes?
Yeah. Which one should we do? Should we do Ape Canyon or?
Let's talk about Ostman. The one
Albert Ostman.
Yeah. Again, we're just gonna bring some
because they're kind of similar in ways, but like it's like 2 different like experiences. Though.
Yeah. Well, that's
like
why we want
to
present them together because it's just before we even began, it's kind of the fact that the burden of proof always lies with the believers, and even when it's presented, the skeptics will not take it, and we're pouring over all these reports from like 1924, and there's countless news articles and journalist things and all this mention of these ape-like creatures basically, and reports from at the time what they would call Indians, these like Native Americans that are saying the same thing, that they are real.
Yeah, they're just like they're part of this like extinct tribe basically,
and many times,
I guess not extinct.
Yeah, it's like even we're going through like BigfootForums.com, and it's like all these like just jaded ass comments on the news articles where it's like, well, this doesn't even matter. We can't even prove it. It doesn't matter.
Is so long ago. It's like, what does it even mean? It doesn't even mean anything. It's like, well, nothing matters. Yeah. So who cares? I guess. But it's like, well, it does though. It kind of does because it just means there's so much evidence and so many like firsthand accounts and like witness testimonies of things happening that like if it was like a serial killer, we'd be able to be like, oh, this is the guy. Mm-hmm. This is the person. We'd have like a sketch of a person, of a suspect, and like if we got them in court, we'd be like, this is the person that did it. You know what I mean? Like this is it's enough evidence to convict someone at this point. Like, enough eyewitness. So it's like, bro.
And it's similar across the board. I mean, there's differences when you go to different like countries and stuff, but specifically these like Pacific Northwestern variant that we're going to be digging into, the very classic Bigfoot. It is so similar across the board. You'll remember our last Bigfoot episode if you haven't checked it out yet. It's the attack. It's the Hanobia attack. Yeah. Where it's that
like siege, like
the siege of Hanobia. It's called. Yes. Yep. It's the family that literally had to evacuate their house forever. Like they just left after.
Yeah, because it wouldn't stop.
And we'll see so many similarities from that to these cases we're going to present. And it's just like there's like. Yeah, there's a common thing. There's a common thing tying it all together, and it's up to you to see it, right?
Yeah, and like you can be like, okay, just acknowledge it. Be like, okay, this is something that's happening.
Mm-hmm. It's tough, honestly, beginning of the year, went in here, I always believed in Bigfoot, I guess, but I never I don't think I had the research to back it up.
I never researched that much. I'm like, you see like the main ones, like the Patterson footage and like these other stories, and you're like, okay, like. I'm sure something's going on here. But then you like start. I just like looked up like bizarre fucking Bigfoot stories, and it came up with these things, and it's like, all right, we're just gonna say that it's all hoaxes because it's like, why would what's the point of that? These like a lot of these like the ones I have are like these are like miners and lumberjacks that like left where they were working.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Like, why would you leave a gold mine?
Yeah, we'll get into like
you know what I mean. Like
that's again same thing.
Unless your life's in danger.
The cattle mutilation episode where we're talking about it's these ranchers that would have to report it and how they don't want any part of that, so it's so often does not go reported. It's the same with these. We're talking about mountain men, like wilderness people that live in the wilderness, frontiersmen, frontierswomen that. And
a lot of them didn't come out with their stories right away. Like Albert Ostman waited like 30 years to tell anyone his story because he was like, I'm gonna get called crazy.
Do we want to begin with that then? We can just kind of break it down.
Yeah.
Look at similarities, just see where the story takes us.
Yeah, because both of these stories, one of them's in like Washington State, and this one is in British Columbia. So it's kind of that like Pacific Northwest, like, like northern like rainforest area. It's like that same forest, like vast wilderness basically that stretches like that northwest kind of area. So, Albert Ostman's story. 1924, he was abducted by Bigfoot. He was a Canadian prospector and lumberjack who went camping near Toba Inlet, British Columbia. One night, as he slept in his sleeping bag with his boots on, rifle beside him, he was suddenly picked up, sleeping bag, rifle and all, by a very large creature described as Sasquatch, or as a Sasquatch. Ostman was carried for about 3 hours through the wilderness before being set down on a plateau. There, Ostman found himself surrounded by a family of 4 Sasquatches, a large male, a female, and 2 children, a boy and a girl.
When you say large, we're talking like 8 to 9 feet tall here too.
Yeah.
Just so the people.
I think he described it as like around 7 feet tall.
Yeah,
7-8 feet tall. It's like okay, you like stand by someone that's 7 to 9 feet tall. It's like. He's well over 6 feet tall for sure, at least 7 feet. Like, so it could vary. I'm sure like the children were.
And then we have these 2 juveniles that are kind of stood behind the adults that are he gets between like 6 and 7 feet tall that are a little lankier. The male, I guess like the father in this family was like said to be very broad-shouldered, and these like the younger ones seem to have a little more of a lankier, like less developed appearance, right? Yeah,
it described it as having long forearms and chisel-like fingernails. The family seemed curious but not aggressive toward Ostman. The children appeared frightened of him, while the female showed displeasure of his presence. So it's kind of like if like your dad just brought like a wild animal home. And like put it in your house and be like, this thing's kind of chill, I think. And the kids are like, that's kind of scary. I'm kind of like nervous around it. The woman's like, get this thing away from us.
Get this out of here.
What do we do? Like, why'd you bring this here? Why'd you bring this thing to our home? What the fuck? Okay, where was I? Yeah. None of them harmed him though.
Mm-hmm. They wore no clothes, right?
Yeah.
And they had this like sort of a camp setting, like a very like primitive looking camp. They had he described like a bedding of moss, I guess, and like piles of spruce shoots.
Like they were like that's like where they were like residing.
Natural rock shelter above a small meadow. And we see that all the time where it's like they seem to live in these like caves. It goes along with like missing 411 maps and stuff too, where you end up seeing these patterns.
Yeah.
Right.
And he was effectively held captive for 6 days. He ate sweet-tasting grass given to him and observed domestic behavior. The female washed and stacked leaves. Communication between Ostman and the creature was through simple gestures. No vocal communication was reported. Though captive, Ostman refrained from using his rifle as the creatures had not harmed him. His escape came when he offered the Papa Bigfoot some chewing tobacco or snuff. The male Sasquatch consumed it and quickly became ill and groggy. Seizing this opportunity, Ostman fled. When the female Sasquatch chased him, he fired a shot over her head as a warning, causing her to retreat. He then traveled several hours on foot to a logging camp where he reported his ordeal. Ostman kept the story secret for over 30 years, fearing ridicule. In 1957, as Bigfoot stories gained popularity, he finally came out with it, recounted it, and signed a solemn declaration under oath affirming the truthfulness of his account. Which is like unnecessary.
He also took a lie detector test and passed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the police, is a Lieutenant Colonel Naismith, officially questioned him and found Osman to be sane and honest, finding no flaws in his testimony. So he's not just like a freak.
Yeah, again, because
he's not crazy.
Yeah, this was he had his rifle with him. He was out hunting. He's you're living in the 1924 fucking Washington area.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's developed, I suppose, but there's not like we would know it today. I mean,
no.
It's 24. What I mean, how many like street lights are there at this point? I don't know.
And those like that wilderness out there is still to this day with all the development is like very like vast.
It's incredibly vast.
It's wild.
It reaches like all the way down to like California, all the way up to
it's
like
Alaska.
It's
a super dense forest and mountains that like you can't just like go in and develop and explore. Like it's just like they're still like discovering like new like plants and mushrooms and shit in that area all the time. Yeah, skeptics point to the implausibility of the Sasquatch family's food sources and question the delayed reporting. I mean, that kind of a guy, a woodsman prospector's not going to just like go out and start saying that because then he's just not going to get work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if people are like, this guy's crazy.
Why do you think the Bigfoot took him? Because that's what happened. He wakes up. Like
because they didn't hurt him, they weren't like attacking him.
Yeah, yeah.
It seemed like maybe they're just curious. Maybe they were like trying to like. Maybe they thought he like needed help or something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially with like the other stories where there's like more aggressive. Like maybe there's like just like different types of them, and he was like maybe in some bad territory, and they were like keeping him safe.
Do you know why Osman was out there?
He was a lumberjack. He was like camping out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Lumberjack prospector, so he's just looking for gold. And
by his account, he hired a boat to drop him off near the head of the inlet, loading his canoe and pushed upstream in a land few outsiders even ever saw. So he it was a whole journey to get out to where he was. He was out in the open, right?
He was way out there.
He spent about a week out in this place. Fine.
Yeah.
Like it's not like he's not just some random dude that went out there and like to make something up.
No.
He was out there for a full week.
No, he was like
camping.
looking for gold and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. He's also doing prospector business. He heard of this. He heard of living. It was a rumored lost gold mine in the Toba Inlet region, right?
Yeah.
And he's like this woodsman. He's an experienced woodsman, so he's like, I'm gonna go check this out, right?
Maybe they're trying to like protect that gold mine or something, keep it from being something. You know, I don't know. Who knows, man?
But it's like when he was sleeping in that sleeping bag, he had his rifle in his pack all bundled up in there. So that's why like he was grabbed up in one motion, you know, it was like
it was like a potato sack.
He described it as being dragged by a bear, but it like being dragged by a bear, though it was not a bear. Like that's just like the power it was with it. It just picked him up like it was
something
nothing,
you can't even like imagine.
Yeah.
Just being like tossed around like a baby.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. He also described their scent in one article being like a wild, earthy odor, like a wet dog mixed with moss and turned soil. Which there's always some kind of scent around with them. These guys seem that's like pretty tame, actually. Just like a
lot of times
it's
like
scent.
putrid. Just
when you get down to
rotten.
the Florida region, the swamp apes are stinking.
Yeah,
which that's just like a regional thing. Yeah, yeah, skunk ape. That's not swamp ape.
Yeah,
skunk ape. Right. Yeah, that is crazy. Like just like being in that moment for a second, you're just like asleep. You get dragged.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you get dumped out and you're just sat before like a family of Bigfoots.
Yeah. You're like in their family.
You're right. Then the mom's like, the fuck are you doing?
Like,
what are you doing?
I don't want this thing here. There's another mouth to feed. What are we doing?
Because, we're talking about a very early time in like that part of the country too, comparatively. Like they said, like not many outsiders were there. I'm sure it was fairly rare for someone to come through there. He's looking for an abandoned like gold mine.
Yeah.
A rumor of one, as it like there might not even actually been one out there, but it's like the amount of people that would have passed through that area had to be fairly slim,
not
right?
A lot.
So it might have been, they might have just been, the dude, like the Bigfoot male might have been like, the fuck is this? Are you me?
Yeah.
Are you like, he might have been like, do you need help? Like
what is this? Yeah, and
like
he was there. He was out there for like a week before this happened.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm
and
saying.
then they had him. He was with these things for 6 days.
Yeah.
That's like a long time.
Yeah, he said he was
to just
like,
be around these things.
He's like rationing his tobacco. Yeah, yeah. Well, when he's talking about this, like because he's saying that it's like grunts and groans, but it's also this like they have some like high pitched calls, and it's this like some type. It had like some type of structure too.
Like there's like they're like intelligent creatures.
Yeah.
The thing like asked was like basically like wanted to try the tobacco, and it was like, let me.
Yeah,
they're communicating on some level, and he was like he was able to observe their own like their like temperament, and that like to be able to like tell that the children seemed nervous. The mother bear or mother Bigfoot was like not like displeased in some way, you know what I mean? It was like it's just interesting.
They're showing, and that's
like complex emotions.
With
you know
this
what I mean?
like language stuff. It's been, I guess, like just proven that humans, Homo sapiens, I guess, are the only like primate that can like make like language, like sounds, even like just like to get to that like whatever that like vocal range, not even range, but just like the formation of like how your like tongue and your lips works and shit.
Yeah, like have it, or like what is it, the tempo and stuff, and
all that. So, but then there's these like language kind of coming out of these things. Obviously, it's not like just a fucking gorilla family, right?
And they're having like some like complex communication in some way.
And there's the famous like Sierra sounds, which are these recordings of over multiple days of what seemed to be like a whole family of Bigfoot out there. And it's this range of sounds that seems to have structure. And then what happens is we get into that infrasound thing where it's sounds above and below the pitch of humans. So it's I don't know. They're also like working with that, which is like ties into a lot of stuff, I guess, like the idea of infrasound being sort of a paranormal like experience, or how it can like create these things, like it can clear out an area. Like that's what infrasound, I know we've talked about it on the pod before, but just for newer listeners, infrasound is that really deep tone that's like beyond human hearing, where like that's why animals will leave a forest and
like,
shit, because
you can like feel it.
Storms will make this thing, like these like storm fronts will do this, and it seems that a lot of paranormal or undiscovered creatures like this can also kind of have access to that. And by itself, it's not paranormal, but then coupled with other things, especially when we're talking about like it as a language, and how language is like how you use magic, and like naming things. If we're talking about like deep, like wild magic and like chaos type stuff, like these words belong to things, and you can call on them. And maybe like humans have kind of, if we are somehow related to these things, like we've almost lost that ability to make those tones. So it's like you almost lose that
like to
part
like
of
the
magic.
chanting like frequencies and stuff. And I think too, like I don't know, it's maybe like out there, but because like we know like dogs and cats communicate with like smells. That's why like dogs pee on things. They're like, it's like pheromones and stuff. Like cats like will rub on things to like mark their territory. But there's like information being passed, and when they go and smell something else, they're like getting a data download of like what that other cat is and what it was doing, and like what it was like, you know, like what it like was eating and what it's about.
And so these Bigfoots, that we'll have to come to what the conclusion is of that is in our research at some point. Maybe we'll save that for the last one. Squatches. Yeah. They must be using something like that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like
with the smell of something, it is almost, even if it's, I feel that it must go beyond just like a warning thing. Like it must be some sort of communication as well. If they have access to it, they might as well be using it. Like
imagine.
If that's just what they are, if that's what they have as one of their senses.
Yeah, like I just like imagine they probably
like
if they're not like hard on like a language like spoken language, I imagine they're using like sound, smell, like all that shit.
Those deep tones.
Yeah.
It's like.
Like deer do that
it's like
too.
wizard speak, basically.
Yeah, deer like they all like they like put like certain like things down. They like communicate in like far more senses than just like sight. Like for them, for like most animals, sight is more of like it's
definitely not as developed.
No, it's not as like advanced as ours.
I mean, like birds and shit.
Well, they don't lean on it as much. You know what I mean? Like they're like listening and smelling more, and then like the sight is like, oh, where am I? That's like their surroundings and like immediate danger, but it's like they're taking in senses like on their blind spots and stuff just for survival. You know what I mean? So their sight's more of like this is like a rock here, trees over there, covers over here, like water right there. You know, but like they're smelling everything. They're like marking territories, communicating like in silence, because like if you make too much noise in the woods, something's gonna come find you. But if you're using like sense and you can like kind of communicate in certain ways, and like I don't know.
Yeah, I'd like to. Yeah, I mean, like one of the, I guess, theories on it is that these are like, well, like we said, like there are some like Native American reports we'll read later where it's talking about these things being part of lost tribes, and that's them saying, like, I don't want to put that kind of words in their mouth if they don't want it, but that's like, and there's all this other stuff about them being quote, like the wild men of the woods and these like ancient shamans or like an enlightened master type thing where that you almost through like deep ritual become this almost, or it's just, or if it's like a lost sect of whatever this is.
Or you learn like the shamanic traditions from them.
But it's like if these squatches are basically these creatures that have hit this enlightenment state, and I would say enlightenment in the form of like a deep wild magic, which we talk about often. That
like very full connection with like nature.
So that's so you get access to these like more animalistic ways of communicating, right? So then you're not bound by just like speak. If it is like
you're like communicating with the trees and the wind and the water, the soil and the dirt.
We want to talk about Ape Canyon.
Yeah. Okay. So now I'm like the other side of the spectrum.
Summer of 1924.
1924.
Mind if I take
again same summer? House? Yeah, you should go off.
We're at Mount St. Helens today. Yeah. It is the summer of 1924 today. Yes. We're on the North Slope, which is wild and remote and sparsely visited, except by loggers, hunters, and a handful of prospectors willing to live for weeks in rough timber country. Again, this isn't for the fucking layman. Even in 2024, no sissy boys going out there.
No.
We have 5 men. We'll talk about. We also have like the main reporter that goes on him later. We can talk about. We have these 5 men: Fred Beck, Marion Smith, Roy Smith, Gabe Lefevre, and John Peterson. They had staked a claim near a deep gorge on the mountain's northeast side. It was a dangerous but promising patch of wilderness, and they had been working it for 6 years.
Yeah.
The gorge later gets named as Ape Canyon because of what happens in July of 24. According to Beck's later account in I Fought the Ape Man of Mount St. Helens, 1967, very good title, he said that the group began noticing huge human-like tracks in the pumice dust of the forest near camp. Each print was around 19 inches long. The men, all seasoned outdoorsmen, could not match a track to any known animal.
Yeah.
They'd been there already for like 6 years in different areas around there, so... At first, they just started, these guys are joking around. They're calling them mountain devils, a term some Native American tribes use in the region for large, hairy, wild men. So we have these like earlier reports from Native Americans already. And the feeling, so they're kind of joking about it. One of them catches a glimpse of a large, upright figure moving through the trees, just far enough to evade a clear look, and they start taking it pretty seriously then. They're like, oh shit. On July 10th of 1924, Marion Smith and Roy Smith are hiking back from a spring, because that's like how they're getting water out there. It's 24. There's no, like, that's how remote it is. When they spotted one of the creatures standing on a ridge about 100 yards away. It's about 300 feet. They describe it as tall, hairy, and humanoid with long arms. Now, bears can be tall and hairy, and they can stand upright. They don't have that long of arms. When they're standing upright, the arms don't reach like... They reach like the middle-ish of their body when they're standing upright. Yeah. These things are being described as just like basically lanky Kong.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. Like bears, like their legs, like you look at it like a bear standing up, their legs are like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're little,
short little legs. Yeah. That's why they like waddle around. They don't walk on their back legs all that much. You know what I mean? Like,
Marion fired his rifle, hitting it 3 times. The figure staggered and fell off the ridge into a ravine.
Yeah.
He capped one. We just
got one.
This guy shot a Bigfoot. That bold move to just do
started something. Maybe he wasn't ready.
Especially if these big feats are working with deep magics.
Yeah, no, exactly.
That evening, the rest of the party returned to camp. Beck claimed that when scouting around, he too saw a figure appearing from behind a tree and fired at it. These guys are
they're on site, dude.
Yeah,
shoot first, ask questions.
Because they're out there far enough to know that there ain't no other humans out there, or if they are. It's like some Native Americans, and everything's really shitty back then. So I think I don't know. You know what I mean?
Well, they're like also, I mean, they're probably like, this thing's like hunting us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're being tracked.
Whether it's a human or
we're being tracked.
Yeah,
we need to retaliate. Unbeknownst to them, these shots may have triggered what was about to happen. After dark that same night on July 10th, the men were inside their 8-by-8-foot log cabin, lit only by a kerosene lantern, when they heard a loud thump on the roof. Then rocks began pelting the cabin walls. Very similar to the Honobia siege. They seem to, like, something that a bear won't do is throw rocks. Not many creatures are going to be throwing rocks outside.
Not a lot of animals out there.
Name one.
I don't know any animals that throw stuff at all.
The men grabbed their rifles and fired through gaps between the logs at shapes moving outside.
Yeah.
Because they see things moving outside.
Yeah.
Beck later wrote that it sounded like a hailstorm. They were pounding on the walls, running across the roof, trying to break in.
Yeah.
Beck claimed there may have been as many as 7 of these things outside, throwing rocks, banging at the door, trying to push the logs loose from the walls.
Yeah.
Just like real hood rat shit.
Yeah. Just trying to get it, breaking and entering.
Yeah. That assault went on for hours. Whenever the gunfire paused, the pounding and the rock throwing resumed. So they were like, by dawn, the attack stopped. But they were like, had to be on constant fucking alert, right?
Yeah.
When daylight came, the men cautiously left the cabin. They found these large rocks obviously scattered everywhere. Some were too big for one of a man to lift on their own. They're like, oh shit, these are huge. Alongside that were dozens of massive footprints circling the site.
Yeah.
And they had found a trail leading to the edge of the canyon where one set of tracks stopped abruptly at a cliff's edge that suggested like a fall shot.
Weird.
Maybe like one of them got shot and they're like, just like fell off. The miners packed up right then and abandoned that place for good. The place they've been going for 6 years, dude.
Yeah, they're done.
They packed it up. They're like, actually, we're good here.
We're quitting our job.
Similar again to the Nobia stuff, where it's like they don't seem to back off. Like it seems like they killed one of them. Like seems like these miners killed one of the Bigfoot.
They're like,
and the rest of the crew is like, we're like not standing for this. You need to.
We're
get
going
away.
to war now.
Yeah, which, yeah.
You don't want to go to war against those.
There are reports of this. There's like on July 16th, just 6 days later in the Organian, we have the headline: 8 men attack miners' cabin on St. Helens.
Yeah.
Assailed by giant mysterious mountain creatures after shooting one. Then we have the Longview Daily News publishing a story about the great hairy apes that one of the miners was describing. That's like that story. I know we have. So we did go through and find a lot of different like news articles.
Yeah.
Dawes, do you have those anywhere?
Yeah. Let me.
You mind shooting one my way too? I can try to pull one up here. But it was funny, like even trying to find this information, because you end up having to like go in these backlogs of digitalized records, and it's very clear very early on that a lot of the stuff just gets lost to history.
Yeah, I'm airdropping you.
Nice, I got that.
Sweet.
So that's just, it's sad. Like, you got to take notes, you got to take video, you got to record this shit on your own. You cannot expect any agency or like body of work to like collect this for you.
No, exactly.
Because we ended up on these different forums where it is just news clippings from July.
Like, bro, like, I don't know how many times have you like kind of like vaguely seen something and you're like, I'm not sure what that was. You're not like reporting that.
Mm-hmm.
You're not reporting something unless you're like, holy shit, there's something like real. Like I really saw something and I'm freaking out. Like enough to like, I need to tell someone about this. So I need other people to know that this happened.
Yeah. We had one headline that was specifically interesting. Okay, so we have a couple that point to like slander on like spiritualist shit immediately. Or not even like, so it's spiritualist shit specifically, but also it points to slander of like the paranormal in general, kind of a larger thing. The headline of this from July 15th, 1924, again, 5 days later, says, "Mountain Devil witnesses were spiritualists."
Yeah.
That's just the headline. At the time in history, spiritualism was a movement kind of coming out, and there was a lot of backlash, obviously, because there is a lot of like not real shit with that, I guess, or it's just like,
I mean, there's a lot of like hoaxing going on with it, and like it was like a lot of people trying to like form like their own like cults, like doing weird rituals, like a lot of like Aleister Crowley.
So it's easy,
where it's like they're doing this stuff, and it's like very like, hey guys.
So it was an easy target.
Yeah.
And I think it was almost just a word you could lob onto someone because
Yeah.
that account I just read, I don't believe those guys were actually spiritualists. Not in any true sense.
No one involved, I don't think.
Yes. So that's the kind of headlines you're getting, even back then, just to like shut it down, you know? I mean, here's another headline. Kelso, Washington is the place. Kelso posse hunts for big gorillas in the hills. Yeah. I will say also, like I was pointing out at that time, there's not a lot of just like gorillas to be seen at ground level. Like, I don't know how many zoos there were, but you're 1924 in Washington.
Gorillas weren't like even like known to be a thing like discovered by like Western civilization until like the late 1800s.
Yes, so
it's like still a new thing. So they probably just thought, oh, there's gorillas here too, because we just haven't discovered them yet. You know, like.
And then we have this other article, September 2nd, 1924. This is a couple months later, as they're kind of uncovering more stuff. This is the one that says, "Man and supernatural linked in India, an Indian legend of Nung Nungs."
Yeah.
We honestly haven't even really dug into this, but it's more about how these Native Americans had these stories.
They were like, these are things.
They were telling people about it, trying to make sure that they would stay out of it, basically.
Yep. There's another one too.
You find that.
Trappers claim fierce tribe of ape men live in state of Washington. Strange specimens of human family who imitate birds attack white men at night. So, strange specimens of human.
Yeah, well, because that almost points to this thing where it's like lost tribe type shit. Where it's like if you're pointing to something being so humanoid that it's.
They're like, they act and are like responding and doing things like humans.
And again,
like in coordinating attacks and like tricking people like a human would, like not like an animal does. You know,
and
what
like
I mean?
Retaliation, right? That's not like an animal instinct.
And this is
really.
all, this is all
Is,
1924, dude. That's crazy.
We have
Same
this
summer.
article from August 18th, 1924, from the Daily Republican, and this is a funny one. We were kind of, it's just good. Again, it points to like. Just like whitewashing everything and making everything like totally unbelievable, like right off the bat. It says 8-foot ape men are myths, says Rangers. And then under it in smaller text it says Indian claims they are members of extinct tribe. Yeah. And so like just like the framing of that is funny. It's like, look at this stupid fucking person that says all this not real shit. Yeah. And it says sucks, you know. Just sort of sucks.
Yeah. Well, there's another one too, is like what wonder what brand of moonshine they drank to see ape men. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, they're drunk.
It's immediately just slandering this shit. Yeah. Which the article seems very genuine. There's another article talking about how every single guy there was like sincere. Nobody's joking about it. Nobody's like laughing. They're not. And that's like how it even got any credibility. Because if it's everybody's laughing about it, doesn't catch on at all. Like at least none of them broke their story on it. None of them changed their shit up. Yeah, Kelso, Washington, the tale of the tall gorilla, or as some call them, the ape men, who were credited with having attacked a party of trappers in the mountains here recently is a myth, two forest rangers declared. Yeah. I don't know. That's
like, okay.
So
you're saying they just made it up?
Yeah, it's just sort of upsetting.
You're calling these men liars then?
And that's like at the beginning we were kind of talking about how it's so easy to just sit back and like say this shit.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like, okay, if they're lying, then go to their camp that they were attacked in, and you hang out there now.
No,
you go hang out.
Nobody wants to do it.
You go collect evidence for 6 days.
Every time we have a story about
this, you didn't even do that.
The most hardened miners, like, no, I'm not going back up there. I would never go up there alone, especially.
Yeah, and then it's like no one else like goes out there to like try to prove it wrong. Mm-hmm. It's like if you did, then maybe I'd like, okay, maybe. That's weird that they didn't come back now that you're there, but it's like, nah, man, like.
Is it too much to say that it points to like early kind of like government shutting down conspiracy shit? Like it's a forest ranger, it's the 20s. I don't know. I think okay, like it's kind of tough. Like obviously the infrastructure isn't as much, but it can still be possible to like just try to be shutting this kind of stuff down. I think we'll see. I think we're gonna take a short break in a minute, and when we come back, I have a story straight out of fucking President Roosevelt's mouth. Yeah. Our only cool president.
The coolest one.
A hardened man of the wilderness that has a story about this that he retells. And it almost points to like, I know he kind of started a lot of like the forest ranger shit, and it's like, it almost feels like,
and like the like national forest system and all that, like the protection of it all. And it's like
the story that I'm gonna say about him came out in about 1890 when he had one of his memoirs come out.
Yeah.
So about 35 years before this like ape attack, and then 35 years before this like being shut down. Yeah. And it is almost like,
it's one of those things where it's like, why are these like newspapers and printing presses and like police and like authorities being like, this is fake.
It's a 1920s Google bomb, dude. It's how we talk about how now.
Then you like hit it with like, every headline you see is like, oh, they're drunk.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of moonshine to see ape men?
And
this and that. They're making it up. It's like, well, now everyone's perception's like dismissive.
Those were both two of those articles were posted in,
instead of like people being like, what?
Yeah. Well, those articles came out, and one of them was called the Oregonian Democrat, and one of them was called the Oregonian Republican. So it's literally they're hitting both sides of it with the same like disinfo. Yeah. And it's just like today, where it's like you want to make you just have to make a meme out of something. Yeah. They're just making a meme out of it. Oh, they were drunk. That's all it was. They're drunk. This is a hoax.
Oh, the authority figure says that it's a myth. Mm-hmm. It's fake. The authority myth says nothing to see here.
So it just sucks.
Literally happens every time with everything, dude.
For all time. Like, it doesn't.
For
all time.
For every like weird thing that's unexplainable.
Yeah.
High strange event. It's just that dismissive mindset is like somehow it's like top down. Like there's like an authority that just says squash it.
When we come back, I'll be having a reading about someone named Bowman. Bowman's story recorded by Theodore Roosevelt in The Wilderness Hunter from 1893.
Well, one thing though,
please,
because I like if it, I don't know, if it was you'd think like newspapers would want this story out too. Like, why would they squash these stories? Because that's like captivating. Like people are gonna be like, whoa, what? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like people, you'd like do it to like sell things more than anything, right? Like
you would. I think that once one of them comes out with this like quote unquote consensus of it being a hoax, then it's a lot easier to just say it is a hoax as well. Yeah, or you kind of have to just follow that lead. You don't want to be the one that's coming out saying it's true and then becoming something that nobody believes.
One that like is like, oh, you're a hoax, and you have to be like, oh, it was made up.
Yeah,
because then you're like, you lose your credibility.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just how that works. It's easy, quick.
It's like 1920. Everybody's reading their newspaper. You go into this small town. Everybody has a newspaper. Everybody's saying it's a hoax. If you're the one guy saying it's real, you're just going to become an outcast immediately.
Yeah, yeah.
You just are. And
people are like, that guy's a kook.
Yeah, exactly. Then you're out of work.
Why would you talk to him? Why would you do business with him? Why would you hire him?
Yep. It's like you're at this time, man, you're just trying to like.
It's like your reputation. Yeah. It's like the word of mouth around town.
Mm-hmm. And if you're going by just what the news says, you got to kind of follow that.
That's why it was there. That's why the one dude didn't say anything for 30 years.
Mm-hmm. That's why nobody says anything for 30 years.
Because that happened that summer, like while those headlines are coming out. Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm not going to say this. They're going to call me a drunk. They're going to fucking... Nope. Mm-hmm. But all right.
Let's take 30 years later when he's an old man,
Yeah,
we'll take a break. We'll come back. Here's some shit from President Roosevelt.
Yeah, buddy.
Our only cool president.
The cool Roosevelt.
As far as I know. I got this. Yeah, hell yeah. Try to hit another hot bay. Yeah. And then this will honestly take us through like enough stuff if we want to catch anything else. I mean, I kind of want to talk about like more of the recent shit too.
Yeah, we should mention it at least.
Yeah, just like reading stories is good a lot of time too. Like it's definitely filling it out at the time. Oh yeah. Can I grab one of these seltzer water? Definitely. Yeah, go for it. Trying to stay stocked up on it. I've just been dehydrated lately. Yeah, I've been not taking care of myself as well. I've been trying to keep like some like coconut water around. I should probably get some of this stuff too, just because it's just nice to drink. Because I also have been like terrible about hydration.
And just like eating lately, dude. It's been fucking bad.
It's all. I mean, this like shit on top doesn't help, but yeah, I gotta just take care.
Cause like, I don't know. I have to like figure out a way where I can like eat more while I'm at work too. Cause like I like won't eat all day for like my whole shift, and then like come home, have like a small meal, and like that's it.
Then like go to bed.
And then go to bed, and then I'm like, then like Wednesday I was like feeling faint. I like felt like I was gonna pass out. Like I think I just like had maybe too much kava, like too big of a kava shot or something.
Yeah, that'll do it too.
But like I think like if I would have been eating, it wouldn't have affected me as hard. But like I walked from one end of the bar, and then like walked to like the middle of the bar and like went to go talk to someone. I got like the like humming in my ear of like woo, and I was like got like really dizzy, and I was like whoa. So I like went downstairs and like grabbed a Cliff Bar and ate one really quick. But I was like, I still was just like off all day, like the rest of the day.
I've been a while there for a while. I think I drank every single one of them. Don't tell.
Well,
Doesn't matter, but yeah.
pretty sure I've even eaten every like granola bar and
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, okay, it says that 9 grams of protein. I guess this will do, but this will
yeah,
do it, right?
like I'm gonna eat like 5 of these right now, and that's like a meal, like, cause like yeah, bro, I'm like,
Yeah, that was the longest fucking piss right there. I'm impressed.
that was a good one. Oh, really ripping the top in right now. I put way too much in my hand.
It's alright. It's good for you. Just get wired.
Good.
Check.
It's cacao, so it's energizing me. It's keep me down a little bit. Keep me on the ground.
Ooh. That caffeine had me literally shaking for the first like 10 minutes of the pod. It's like,
Yeah, dude. I'm like feeling the buzz from it.
yeah, I'm good now.
Just good.
Yeah. This is a
Good
good
pod
time. This
energy.
is fine to have it at this time of day. At like noon, at like midnight.
This
30,
is like a lot when I'm like getting yawny. It's like my like lull of the day where I'm like, whoa.
Oh, I know it. Yeah. Nice. Look at this on screen. Got like the body count of all like the killers. This is a sick fucking VHS. Okay.
All right.
Check. All right. And we are back.
Back
I'm
and
still Travis.
Back in
That's-
black,
that's
baby.
Still Dawson over there. I did tease the Theodore Roosevelt story
Yeah, this
direct from
shit's
his book.
crazy, dude.
I think before that, though, I just wanted to maybe talk a little bit about the recent sightings.
Yeah.
Just before, because I think we'll probably end on that story. It is like
Let's time
a little
travel a little bit.
Let's time travel up to 2025. We have a lot of
100 years after, 101 years after the Osman and the fucking Ape Canyon.
and it's still
I
happening.
like to call that was the first summer of Bigfoot.
Yeah, that was the first year of Bigfoot.
Summer love, there's summer Bigfoot. This is the second one.
We have quite a bit of new footage coming out of just like straight up like going viral on TikTok and Instagram. I'm sure the listeners have seen some of these things. And we and Dawson before the pod, we actually went and like looked at all of them and zoomed way in and paused it like frame by frame to see. I'm not going to put them up here. I'm just going to describe that like these things that we're seeing. They're not bears. I don't know what else to
It's
say.
super not bears. It's not a human.
The way that we were doing a frame by frame and you could see
Like zoomed in on it.
like kind of it was silhouetted, but then
You can see its hair.
its fur was kind of lit by the sun around it. Very interesting.
See like the shadows of like
Yes.
the body structure
see
of
how
it.
upright it is. We have lots of them. We had one
And the pace that they walk.
Yes.
Like the gait of like they're like what do you call that? Their legs basically.
the gait.
The gait.
GAIT.
Yeah.
It's a hard word to say.
But it's like they're because they're moving and it looks like they're
Geit?
moving slow, but they're like moving fast because they're just like 8 feet tall.
Yeah, same with when we
Like
were studying
giants, you know
the
what I mean?
Patterson footage. It's like they're not like over thrusting their hips out or doing like insanely long steps. It's just that they're covering ground.
The way the Patterson film, it covers like 100 feet in like 6 seconds. Like it like just at a slow pace too. Like it's just moving. Like you watch it in like slow motion, normal speed and everything, and it's like it just moves, just like glides basically. Got a cat in the bathroom.
Got a cat that
It's
might
fine.
want to come. It's fine.
fine.
I'm gonna. So yeah, from Michigan, there's an encounter that like it was like a father out bow fishing near Plum Creek, Monroe
Hell
County
yeah.
with his 12-year-old son. He said from the dude, it's a 47-year-old man. He said, all of a sudden I heard a rustling in a tree to the left and a huge thud hitting the ground from the tree. A big heavy animal hit the ground and crouched and started moving toward me through brush. My dog fired off from the right of me toward the creature. The dog almost got to it, but the creature shot off extremely fast through the tree and brush.
Yeah.
The dog chased the creature up the slope and over the train tracks. I then called my dog back to come back. Nice, good trained dog. They described the animal as being as large as a bear, but looking like a gorilla.
Yeah.
After being followed for a short distance, it had been run off.
Yeah. Which this is like a guy that knows what a bear looks like, even in woods.
Uh-huh.
And like the video you see, like before he started filming the video, you know that thing was in like the open, and he's like he could see it clearly. And then the video, it's like kind of still in the open, kind of coming in and out of some trees, like on a tree line. But it's like just even in that video, like he's on the other side of like the ridge, and it's far away, but you can see it pretty clearly still.
It's just huge.
We have good enough cameras where it's like. That's why I get frustrated when people are like, "There's not like any like video evidence. There's no like, proof that this thing exists." It's like, well, there's eyewitness testimony. There just is video, plenty of video and camera like photography of these things, like on trail cams and like just people capturing things on their camera and like
there's enough
throughout the years too.
There's a body of proof that is. I mean, I guess for me it's undeniable, but it's at least it's something that is there. Like
it's something
when
like
you hear it's not there. It's like it is.
Like
there.
well, if you like research it at all, like because we research it at all, even if you're like, okay, there's hoaxes. Okay, yeah, there's definitely hoaxes, but you look into it and you're like, okay, that guy wasn't hoaxing anything.
No,
that guy was like, what the hell is?
He's
this?
just like, what the fuck is this? So keep your eyes out for like more videos. That stuff is still coming out. It's still
because there's that one video we watched. There's another video too that's like very similar. It's like on another side of the ridge, and it's just like walking up through, and then it like disappears in the trees, and it's like you like see how it is by the trees and stuff. It's like that thing's massive, and it's just walking like uphill so fast, like an animal would be like going uphill, but it's like a person can't do that, especially in like a suit like that. It's like wearing like some big fursuit. It's like, well,
and on the other,
and then how much work are you putting in to hoax something just for it to like be like lost and forgotten about immediately? In today's world, it's like
it's a mess.
Like that guy didn't get like a bunch of money to do that, unless if he is, he's getting it from like some black budget program to like spread some weird propaganda. Keep it out of the woods, but it's like,
especially in like what we're talking about. Go back to 1924. It's like you don't really have the resources to create this kind of stuff. I mean, you could use like a bear pelt, but the fact that all the videos, like the Patterson footage, where now that with the stabilized stuff, you can actually see the muscle definition beneath.
And you can see like it's got breasts, like it's clearly female.
It's like talk to any furries out there. We have
the way its feet
we have
are
a small
moving.
furry
Like those aren't
listener
boots. That's not like
group.
Those are.
It's like
you can see its fingers moving.
Getting that kind of shit made costs so much money. You need such a professional touch.
That's the thing too. Yeah, if it was a person in a suit, the arms don't make sense. Like the arms are not like how a person's body is. It's just not
low on the shoulder like that.
Yeah, and like the way it's like elbows and hands are moving, it's like that. Like you need like a full animatronic like hybrid suit, and that just doesn't exist.
Yeah, not then.
Maybe not now.
Yeah, not
to make it look that good. Like I don't know, man. Maybe in like Disney they got shit like that.
I was gonna say I think there's like that Yeti ride.
Yeah, but it's like
that's not
even then. It's like okay,
but hey, I know that's not real.
Yeah, right. That's super not real. It's not an actual Yeti, right, guys? right.
Just put it right out in the open.
Yeah, dude.
All right. Do we want to talk about this passage from The Wilderness Hunter by Theodore Roosevelt?
Because this is more like credibility. This is a credible source.
Yeah. So I'm going to just read this and we can stop whenever to just discuss stuff. Because it is a little bit of a narrative that, Theodore was a bit of a writer, so we got this. Frontiersmen are not, as a rule, apt to be very superstitious. Yeah. They lead lives too hard and practical and have too little imagination in things spiritual and supernatural.
Yes.
I have heard but few ghost stories while living on the frontier, and these few were of perfectly commonplace and conventional type. But I once listened to a goblin story which rather impressed me. It was told by a grizzled, weathered, beaten old mountain hunter named Bowman, who was born and had passed all of his life on the frontier. He must have believed what he said, for he could hardly repress a shudder at certain points of the tale. Which, that happens whenever you recount anything paranormal or unexplainable. It's a natural body reaction.
Yep. And it reminds me, too, of, like, the Also One, where it's like, that guy is, like, it's such a practical human being. He's not a superstitious person. and he had this experience and like shared it
to a future president. So you
yeah.
like, you know,
yeah, exactly. Like he's like telling it to a future president, and the president's like, I believe this man.
yes. But he was of German ancestry, and in childhood had doubtless been saturated with all kinds of ghosts and goblin lore, so that many fearsome superstitions were latent in his mind. Besides, he knew well the stories told by the Indian medicine men in their winter camps of the snow walkers and their specters, and the formless evil beings that haunt the forest depths, and dog and waylay the loner wanderer who after nightfall passes through the region where they lurk. When the event occurred, Bowen was still a young man and was trapping with a partner among the mountains, dividing the fork of salmon from the head of Wisdom River. Not having had much luck, he and his partner determined to go up into a particularly wild and lonely pass, through which ran a small stream said to contain many beaver. The pass had an evil reputation, because the year before a solitary hunter who had wandered into it was slain, seemingly by a wild beast, the half-eaten remains being afterward found by some mining prospectors who had passed his camp only the night before. The memory of this event, however, weighed very lightly with the two trappers, who were as adventurous and hardy as others of their kind. They took their two lean mountain ponies to the foot of the pass, where they left them in an open beaver meadow, the rocky timber-clad ground being from thence onwards impracticable for horses. They then struck out. This is just good wordage.
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
might as well have
Great
a fucking
writing,
yeah.
dude.
They then struck out on
Presidential.
I know, yeah. They then struck out on foot through the vast, gloomy forest, and in about 4 hours reached a little opening glade, where they concluded to camp, as signs of game were plenty. There was still an hour or two of daylight, and after building brush lean-tos and throwing down and opening their packs, they stared upstream. The country was very dense and hard to travel through, as there was much downed timber, although here and there the somber woodlands were broken by small glades of mountain grass. It was beautiful. Mm-hmm. At dusk, they again reached camp. The glade in which it was pitched was not many yards wide, the small close-set pines of firs rising round it like a wall. On one side was a little stream, beyond which rose the steep mountain slopes, covered with unbroken growth of the evergreen forest. They were surprised to find that during their short absence, something, apparently a bear, had visited camp and rummaged about their things, scattering the contents of the pack, and in sheer wantonness destroyed their lean-to. The footprints of the beast were quite plain, but at first they paid no particular heed to them, busying themselves with rebuilding the lean-to, laying out their beds and stores, and lighting a fire. While Bowman was making ready supper, it was already beginning to get dark. His companion began to examine the track more closely, and soon took a brand from the fire to follow them up, where the intruder had walked along the game trail after leaving the camp. When the brand flickered out, he returned and took another, repeating his inspection of the footprints very closely. Coming back to the fire, he stood by it a minute or two, peering into the darkness, and suddenly remarked, "Bowman, that bear has been walking on 2 legs." It's the scariest thing you can say to a man in the woods. When you just Bowman laughed at this, but his partner insisted that he was right. And upon again examining the tracks with a torch, they certainly did seem to be made by two paws, or feet. However, it was too dark to make sure. After discussing whether the footprints could possibly be those of a human being, and coming to the conclusion that they could not be, the 2 men rolled into their blankets and went to sleep under the lean-to. Scary.
Yeah.
They're like, it's not a bear, it's not a human. It's walking on 2 legs.
What is this thing like investigating us, watching us?
At midnight, Bowman was awakened by some noise and sat up in his blankets. As he did so, his nostrils were struck by a strong, wild beast odor, and he caught the loom of a great body in the darkness at the mouth of the lean-to. Grasping his rifle, he fired at the vague, threatening shadow, but must have missed, for immediately after, he heard the smashing of the underwood as the thing, whatever it was, rushed off into the impenetrable blackness of the forest in the night. After this, the 2 men slept but little. sitting up by the rekindled fire, but they heard nothing more. In the morning, they started out to look at the few traps they had set the previous evening and put out new ones. By an unspoken agreement, they kept together all day and returning to camp together at night. Nice. So the previous day, they were doing their own thing.
Then
They
they're
were
like, yo,
spooked
I'm
about
not
enough.
going alone.
And by the way, they have encountered bears before.
Yeah.
This is not the
They're
fear that you
trappers.
get from a bear.
Yeah.
If anything, you'd be pumped because you'd be like,
Cool.
Great
Great meat,
getting a
great,
bear. Yeah.
good meat and fur.
Mm-hmm.
Make some money off a bear.
On nearing it, they saw, as they returned into camp, they saw, heartily to their astonishment, that the lean-to had again been torn down. The visitor of the preceding day had returned and in wanton malice had tossed about their camp kit and bedding and destroyed the shanty. Not something a bear does. They don't have this isn't modern camping where they have a cooler full of fucking Twix there. It's like,
no.
They don't have any
Like
food
a bear
there.
would go in and try to get whatever food they have, maybe smell around, but they're not gonna it's not gonna start pulling things apart, and,
throwing
making
shit
a
around,
mess.
tearing shit out.
Not just gonna make a mess. There's a video of a bear, it comes into a convenience store, and it comes in, walks through the door, grabs a bag of chips or two, and then just walks back out.
Because they know they're an animal. They know
I'm coming for what I want. Why would I cause
Why are they
this
fucking around here?
destruction?
The ground was marked up by its tracks, and on leaving the camp, it had gone along the soft earth by the brook where the footprints were as plain as if on snow, and after careful scrutiny of the trail, it certainly did seem as if, whatever this thing was, it had walked off on but 2 legs.
Yeah.
The men, thoroughly uneasy, gathered a great heap of dead logs and kept a roaring fire up throughout the night, one or the other sitting guard most of the time. About midnight, the thing came back down through the forest opposite across the brook and stayed there on the hillside for nearly an hour. They could hear the branches cracking under it as it moved about, and several times it uttered harsh, grating, long-drawn moans, a peculiarly sinister sound. Yet it did not venture near the fire. This is all stuff we talked about earlier in the episode.
Yeah.
In the morning, the 2 trappers, after discussing the strange event of their last 36 hours, decided that they would shoulder their packs and leave the valley that afternoon. They were the more ready to do this because, in spite of seeing a good deal of game sign, they had caught very little fur. However, it was necessary first to go along the lines of their traps and gather them, and this they started to do. So again, if they could be out there, this is their livelihood. They're trappers.
Yeah.
They need these pelts. If they knew there was a bear, if they knew there was a bear out there, they would make sure to try to trap the thing and get the heavy ass pelt from it.
Yeah. They're out there, they're trying to just survive. And this is grueling work.
Mm-hmm. All the morning they kept together, picking it. And again, it's okay, they could have split up to go get their things easier and faster, but they are spooked about this, something that they would never be spooked.
They didn't want to be alone.
There's a cat freaking out
Yeah,
somewhere in here.
Cat's really scared of this story.
All the morning they kept together, picking up trap after trap. Each one was empty.
Yeah.
As if this shit was being let out. On first leaving the camp, they had the disagreeable sensation of being followed. In the dense spruce thicket, they occasionally heard a branch snap after they had passed, and now and then there were slight rustling noises among the small pines to one side of them. At noon, they were back within a couple of miles of camp. In the high, bright sunlight, their fear seemed absurd to the 2 armed men, accustomed as they were, through long years of lonely wandering in the wilderness, to face every kind of danger from man, brute, or element. There were still 3 beaver traps to collect from a little pond in a wide ravine nearby. Bowman volunteered to gather these and bring them in, while his companion went ahead to camp and made ready for the packs. It's another separate.
Mm-hmm.
On reaching the pond, Bowman found 3 beavers in the trap, one of which had been pulled loose and carried into into a beaver house.
Weird.
He took several hours in securing and preparing the beaver, and when he started homeward, he marked with some uneasiness how low the sun was getting. Fuck, he's I've been out here too long, god damn it.
Scary.
As he hurried toward camp, under the tall trees, the silence and the desolation of the forest weighed on him. His feet made no sound on pine needles, and the slanting sun rays, striking through among the straight trunks, made a gray twilight in which objects at a distance glimmered indistinctly. There was nothing to break the ghostly stillness which, when there is no breeze, always broods over the somber primeval forests. At last he came to an edge of the late glade where the camp lay, and shouted as he approached, but got no answer. The campfire had gone out, though the thin blue smoke was still curling upward. Near it lay the pack wrapped and arranged. At first Bowman could see nobody, nor did he receive an answer to his call. Stepping forward, he again shouted, and as he did so, his eyes fell on the body of his friend, stretched beside the trunk of a great fallen spruce. Rushing toward it, the horrified trapper found that the body was still warm, but that the neck was broken, while there were 4 great fang marks in the throat. The footprints of the unknown beast creature printed deep in the soil told the whole story. To stop this a bit early, we've had a story like this. Do you remember the Yeti story?
Yeah.
Where the guy had his neck broken?
Yeah.
Animals don't break your neck.
No. Like, if they break your neck, they're, like, eating you.
Yeah. 4 great fang marks in the throat. If it was a bear that did that, he would have taken a fucking chunk out.
Like, maybe a mountain lion, but a mountain lion is going to, like, keep that kill and eat it.
The footprints of the
Usually,
unknown. Yeah.
I also think it's interesting, like, the traps were, like, they weren't getting anything in their traps, and they were, like, resetting them. And this thing was kind of, like, following them around. It's almost like it was, like, protecting the wilderness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, these are, like, invaders, and, like, they're trying to kill, like, my forest.
Again, they were having to reset the traps, which means something was setting them off.
Something would go through, like, knew how they worked, and would, like...
Probably saw how it worked on, like, one of the animals, and then...
Yeah, and it was like, I know how these work.
Yeah.
Put a stick through it, and just closing it, and be like, all right, activate.
The unfortunate man, having finished his packing, had sat down on... This is, we're talking about the body now. Had sat down on the spruce log, with his face to the fire and his back to the dense wood, to await his companion. While thus waiting, his monstrous assailant, which must have been lurking nearby in the woods, waiting for a chance to catch one of the adventurers unprepared, came silently up from behind, walking with long, noiseless steps and seemingly still on 2 legs. Evidently unheard, it reached the man and broke his neck by wrenching his head back with its 4 paws. Well, it buried its teeth in the throat. Fucking Dracula style.
Yeah.
Like pulling the head away from the shoulder and sinking that shit in. That's not what a mountain lion does.
That's crazy. No.
It had not eaten the body, but apparently had romped and gambled round it in uncouth, ferocious glee, occasionally rolling over and over it, and had then fled back into the soundless depths of the woods.
So
it's like stomping on it.
Just
Bowman utterly unnerved.
smashing it.
Yes. Bowman,
monkey style.
Yeah, monkey fucking style.
Actually, I watched a video of some apes, like, grabbing, I don't know if it was a monkey or, like, a dog or some other animal, and they're, like, grabbing, they're, like, just, like, smashing it around, like, Hulk style.
Yeah,
like,
that's the move.
It's like, bro, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
Bowman, utterly unnerved and believing that the creature with which he had to deal with was somewhere either half human or half devil, some great goblin beast, abandoned everything but his rifle and struck out at speed down the pass, not halting until he reached the beaver meadows where the hobbled ponies were still grazing. Mounting, he rode onward through the night until far beyond the reach of pursuit. Again, that's from Theodore Roosevelt's memoirs.
Yeah. So
those are the stories I have
crazy,
for us
man.
today. That last one,
it's scary, man.
Yeah, it's
and
almost like Bowman was being watched, and the minute that he saw that they split up,
he went and got that
guy. Or he followed the other guy all the way there.
It's like, yo. And that's like something, too, is like, there's not news articles about that. It was just in a president's diary.
Yeah, because it was like that would have happened in like the 1880s and shit. In like the vast wilderness. Yeah, that's just, there's not a news to go out for that. There's not like a newspaper there.
There wasn't like authorities that went out and did an investigation. It was just this guy's story, and he's like, I had
this is Bowman telling Roosevelt
something this. It reminds me of like, because if it is like some sort of like form of like ape human kind of a thing, that's like what like apes and gorillas do like with their territory. If like another like primate style thing comes in their territory, they just smash it. Mm-hmm. They're not like trying to eat it. They're like killing it to be like, this is mine.
This is mine.
This is like a threat to like what I my territory.
It was like,
it's feeding on the same things I do. It's eating things I do.
yeah, like breaking the shelter up and shit.
Yeah, it's like it's a challenge, and I have to just declare dominance of this space.
Yeah.
And like the way it bit his neck, and it also like slammed him around and mangled his body. It's like,
dude, I mean,
we've all seen videos of like apes and like gorillas and monkeys like doing that to each other. It's like
the broken neck thing. It's just like that's a like not like a human thing to do, but that's like an advanced mammal thing to like kind of do, right? I mean, I know like
it knows how to kill something like quick.
Animals know to like go through the throat like that, but it's like the way it was like wrenched like that.
No.
And
that's the thing, like if it was like a bear or like a lion, mountain lion, cougar thing,
he would have been drugged back.
Like it would have been like taken away, hidden. He wouldn't have found it. He would have found like evidence of maybe like blood or something. But like mountain lions like kill and then they take the shit and hide it so they can go and eat on it as they please.
I guarantee you that Bowman knows what a mountain lion footprint looks like.
Yeah.
And for them to be like...
oh, a mountain lion killed my buddy.
Yeah. They understand tracking. They're trackers.
They've been around... they've been around every single thing.
If they see a thing that looks like it's humanoid and walking on 2 feet, then it's just not a mountain lion.
No. Or a bear. It's just not. Bears are not humanoid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a different thing.
So that's what we got for you today here, Pumpkin Hill Radio. I think it's a lot to take in, a lot to just go over. Again,
Bigfoot's totally real.
Yeah.
Whether or not, I don't know, whether it's like some lost tribe, some sort of like human ape, like missing link kind of thing.
Yeah, I think now that we know it's real for sure, we need to try to spend the rest of these episodes zeroing in on what it is. What the
Because I know they found like there's like a primate that supposedly went extinct in like that Pacific Northwest area. They like found evidence and like bones of it,
right? And like these stream samples where they can test like all the DNA of like the biome in the area. They're finding like unknown primate like DNA in there.
So to me, it makes sense that there's like this other thing, but it's like how advanced is it? Because it seems like it has social structure. It's closer to human than like a gorilla.
I feel like
what I mean? Because they have complex like social structures too, but like these things are very like there's something like magical and like mystical about them though.
I feel like when like a Native American person would say that they're a lost tribe, I feel that probably doesn't mean like a lost like. I feel like they don't think that they're humans. Like they're just like a species of thing that obviously has been in the Americas for probably hundreds of thousands of years. That some of these indigenous people that were here for it still remember working alongside. Not unlike earlier in history when it's Homo sapien, Neanderthals. There's like 10 different kinds of species of human. It's possibly just like one of these offshoots, right? It's hard to say for sure.
I think too, like maybe like the term like lost. It's not like they like went missing. I think maybe it's like they were like human at some point and then like lost their humanity in like the wild. And they like kind of like devolved, you know what I mean? Like, or not devolved, but like they turned into something else. Well, you know what I mean? Like Skinwalker style, but not as dark.
Pure wild magic, pure deep earth wild magic. You're going to become
like wild boar, you know what I mean?
It's just like a druid thing. At that point, you're just like, I am.
Well, even like
the forest.
I mean, you take like rabbits, pigs, you keep them in captivity, their hair shrinks, they become less like aggressive, more like docile.
Yeah, the wild boar.
They lose that like wild thing, but like you, as soon as they get out of that pen, it's like 2 weeks and their hair's longer. They start growing tusks. After like 2 years, they're like they're just a different animal. Mm-hmm. Their body shape changes. It's like their snout changes, their head changes, like their jaw changes. It's like that could definitely just happen to like a human tribe. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
if they're discovering some kind of lost magic, some kind of
they go down like a different like magical like path, shamanistic path. If like enough of them do that, then like they would just eventually change.
End up here, right?
Yeah, even just humans. Like a man goes out and starts living in the woods alone in solitude, or like multiple people do. It's like they're gonna like be different. That's
wild
just
man.
what it is. Yeah, turn into a wild man.
Well, I think these are good stories. Again, we'll come at us for more Bigfoot stuff next month. Prepare for episode 100. You are finally going to get the closeout line that you deserve.
Yeah, you guys. I know everyone's waiting for it.
And again, it's going to be a big one. We're going to try to do a multi-part series on some really cool stuff. I don't know if I spoiled it yet, but I guess if not, I'll just keep it under wraps. But just get ready for that. Let us know if you've seen
Episode
any Bigfoot
100,
stuff.
dude.
Yeah, episode 100.
How exciting.
Yeah.
99's done.
Mm-hmm.
100 is right here.
Yeah.
Countdown, dude.
We're
Count the
actually
days.
going to take the rest of the day to kind of get into what that's going to look like. Really,
Yeah.
to bring y'all something really special.
We'll be working on it.
Yeah. So just get ready for that.
Very exciting.
Thanks for hanging out with us. Again,
Yeah.
if anybody ever needs anything, just email pumpkinheadradio@gmail.com. Just
Yep.
anything,
Yep.
times are tough. Just reach out with whatever.
Yeah.
Hit us with the rating. Hit us with the review. We really appreciate that. That's how we grow. Trying to post more stuff on socials. You can find all the
Yep.
links to everything at pumpkinhillradio.com. It's real easy.
Yes.
If you know the name of the podcast, you know the name of the website.
Yeah.
That's how you're going to get links to the video. We barely even mentioned that we are on video. If
Yeah.
you were watching, we had great movie on.
Yeah.
Come see it. Doesn't even matter now. It's over.
Yeah, it's over. It's done.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Bigfoot's real. Don't
real.
fucking come with me that there's no evidence. We just fucking gave you so much. That's nothing either.
There's so much
There's
more.
so much more.
There's so much more.
It's just real. All right.
Bye.
Bye, guys. I love you. Nice.